Anthony Hartwig here, and we are joined by head coach of the South Range girls basketball team for episode 2 of Lady Readers Coach's Corner, Jeff Fishel. Jeff, thank you so much for taking the time to join us this week.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me again.
And since the last time we talked with you, you guys got a big win over Struthers on Monday. Talk about that game, what you saw from your team, and what it's like to kind of get a good start to the league play.
Yeah, really excited. Struthers is a really good basketball team, and we only have 2 league games in the month of December because of kind of the way things are shaping out right now in Trumbull County. So we knew that we had to kind of place the emphasis on last night's game and then next Thursday against Jefferson with only having 2 league games. So, excited just to come out and get a win. Obviously, to be able to play a game right now is a blessing. So I thought we played hard, came out, had a good game plan, and the girls executed it really well. And they played the way we want to play, and it turned out well for us.
In the last 2 seasons, defense has been such a key to you guys and your guys' success. Last Monday night, you played really good defense. I mean, what was it like to kind of see that defense grow as the games go on?
Well, I think when our girls feel that energy, it's fun to watch. And I said last night that when that's happening, I got to step back and stop coaching and just let them play. Because if I step in and do something, it's going to mess it up because they're just going and they're in a rhythm, and the way they're getting after it on defense is just really nothing better than that.
When you kind of look back at all the uncertainty that was going on with summer and fall and leading up to this season, how did you guys kind of stay positive and stay together through all that?
Stay by day. I think that's probably the simple answer that everybody's had is just stay by day because you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. So when we have a chance today to be together and do whatever we get to do, then we've got to take advantage of it, consider it a blessing, and we don't know what's going to come tomorrow. So that's how we did it.
And now that you're finally here, what was it like to get on the court for the first time when you guys went up for Laurel and you were finally on the court, finally playing?
Listen, that was such a memorable night, and it's an old school there. They built that school in the early 1900s. It's one of those old gyms you can tell have a lot of history, and you walk in and you go down, and there wasn't a JV game, so they didn't give us a locker room. We had to wear our uniforms there. We basically walked in, put our stuff in the bench, and started warming up. And it was one of the most odd feelings of a basketball game I've ever coached. It was still so much stinking fun just to get on the court and coach and to play a game, especially when you didn't know if game number 1 was ever going to get here or not. So weird night, but in the same breath, it was just so much fun to be able to coach again. And I remember listening to pregame music like, this is it. Everything felt normal in that moment, even though everything kind of outside of that court probably isn't.
I know you talked about that game a little bit with DJ last week, but when you look at opening the season with a team like of that caliber and with the circumstances, like you said, where there was no JV game, you just kind of have to show up and go warm up and play. What was that kind of experience like for this team going forward?
Yeah, I think it was a really great experience. And listen, Laurel, if they cut down the nets in Dayton in March, will not surprise me in Division II. They're just that's an elite level team. And I'm not making excuses for our girls, but that was their 3rd game. It was our 1st game, and they jumped out on us. I think it was 22-6 or something like that. Just we were nervous and a little bit out of our element, and we responded. And over the next quarter and a half, actually outscored them by 18 and take a lead about halfway through the 3rd quarter. Our girls responded awesome. To come out against a team that, they got everybody back like we did, and having played 3 games, they played Newark and Strongsville, which are 2 really good Division I programs. So they were already battle tested. For us to kind of fight through that and make the run that we did, I think just kind of reminded us that, hey, when we do things the way we do things, we can be all right.
And then you bounced back with that win over Salem. And I watching it, saw a lot of adjustments just from that week off and trying to see things from the Laurel game that you kind of adjusted from the Salem game. What was it like seeing the team able to adjust that quickly and play like they did at Salem?
Yeah, I think any football coach I talk to, will tell you that the biggest improvement of the season comes after your 1st game. In basketball, you play a couple games a week, so it's a little bit different. But I still think because we had 2 scrimmages early. The first scrimmage, we didn't have any of the soccer girls. So we hadn't really played in a competitive atmosphere together for, one time in a scrimmage, and 2 weeks after that, we didn't play anything. So I think that we just had to play a game against Laurel and figure out what we were good at, what we needed to work at. And we got right in the gym after that game and started talking about what we needed to get better at. And yeah, I was real happy that, our rotations got better on defense against Salem. We outletted the ball up the court a little bit more. We ran the court a little bit more. And then we were patient in what we executed. So, things that we're going to work on all year. But that was a good big step we made between Laurel and Salem, because Salem's a really, really good basketball team, and they get after it.
We didn't really get to talk to you after last year's regional game. But what was it like going through that moment and going through that experience, and now knowing that all the starters from that game are back with that experience under their belt?
Yeah, I look back at it, and you think about West Branch and what that felt like for them, and how close we were to that. It would have been nice for us to see what Elyria Catholic did against Highland, to see where we were at in a grand scheme of where we need to be to win a state championship as a program. But that's something that didn't work out for a lot of teams last year, and that is what it is. But that run we made, I remember after we beat Champion in the regional semifinal, and I wanted to celebrate. And our girls were straight-faced, business-like. Coach, we got to get after in practice tomorrow night. And they didn't celebrate. That was a 2.5-week stretch where their mind was simply on being better that day and beating the opponent we played. And that was kind of like, I think the last practice we had was practice 72. And you get far enough in a season, especially my first year as a varsity coach, and it was like playing with house money. Like we had nothing to lose. And that run was just so special and so much fun. And I think we'll reflect on that for a long time about that.
All that being said, and it was the best run any program has had in the basketball programs at South Range. When you look at this season, how do you guys improve from that? What kind of things do you look at from last year and think we can get better, we can do better, and we can improve from last year?
We just have to show up in the gym every night. Our practices every night have to be focused on being better than we were yesterday. And we can't think about beating Ursuline tomorrow night because we don't play until Thursday. So on Wednesday, we have to have a practice that's focused on what we do at practice. Thursday, we'll focus on Ursuline. We can't worry about winning the league or what seed we're going to be in the tournament, because this is a process for us. And, I've said it before, basketball is a weird sport. Things can happen. If we don't win the league or we get tripped up early in the tournament, while our expectations of where we go may not get met, we want to make sure that the moments we have between now and whenever the season ends are meaningful moments. Because when you look back on it, like last year we played in the regional final. That was only one day of a 4-month season, right? One day shouldn't define your season and how meaningful it was. We've got to make every day meaningful. So that's our goal right now. And, we're confident with the schedule that we play. We're going to get the opportunities that we need. Whether or not we take advantage of them, time will tell.
Year 2 with this program, do you think from year 1 to year 2 there's a little bit of a difference because, now you're not having to establish a philosophy or get people to buy into what you're trying to sell as a program? Now there's buy-in?
I had not thought about this from a coaching standpoint, because I coached our freshman boys for 8 seasons. And before that, I was an assistant in junior high, 7th grade. So for 12 straight years, my first practice of the season was with a new team, which meant start at ground zero and build from there. And I hadn't thought about it. In practice number 1 this year, I was writing down drills and, okay, we got to teach this and we got to teach that. And I showed up at practice and all those girls had been there before. So it was like we were a step ahead of where I thought we were, just because there was a lot less time teaching because we already knew what we were doing. And I think that's just part of having the program in place and the junior high doing the same thing that we do, that we can just build on it even more now and kind of do some additional things with it.
Yeah, and you said last year how important it is for you to build this program and build it from the bottom up. And now that you're in year 2, what kind of things are you seeing from South Range girls basketball, not just at the varsity level, but at every level, that are starting to really acclimate to what you want them to look like?
Yeah, I think it goes back a lot to what I just said. I walk into a junior high practice and they're doing the same drills that we do at the JV and varsity level. And that's fun to see. And we're using some of the same terminology, and all the girls know me, and now I know all the girls. And so there's a lot more probably of a comfort level because there's some familiarity there where everybody just kind of knows what's going on. Everybody's on the same page as far as expectations on a daily basis. And so you got to take advantage of that, and you got to keep growing that. But that's one thing that we've kind of made this South Range girls basketball family be all as one.
You're blessed to have seniors that have started since freshman year. They've been there, they've done that, they know what the standard is. What's it like seeing a senior group of leaders that kind of knows how to lead because they've done it before?
Yeah, I actually caught myself tonight at practice watching Izzy and Bree and just the level they're on. And, that moment hit me where it's like, I've got to enjoy this. I talked to the girls about making the moments meaningful. I think I got to make them meaningful for myself and appreciate what Bree and Izzy bring to the team, because I only get to watch them. Tonight was practice 32. So, we're getting pretty deep into December all of a sudden, and this thing's going to fly by and be over in 2.5 months, 3 months from now. So it's really nice to have that experience. 4-year starters, you can't replace experience. That is just something that obviously comes with time. So they're special to have there. And I've really got to give credit to our third senior, Sophia Lowry, who has stepped up, hit a big 3 for us last night. She was quarantined for 2 weeks, wasn't part of our practices, came back this week and has just jumped in, and she's a girl that really respects the team really respects her. So that's 3 seniors that have been around this program who really set the bar and set the standard and set the right example for the younger girls that we're blessed to have around, and we're going to miss them next year, that's for sure.
And we talked about Sophia a little last year, just one of those players that kind of buys into the program and buys into the work ethic and kind of buys into her role on the team. Now that you kind of see her in her senior glory and being able to lead as a senior, what does it mean to you, knowing all the work that she's put in since she's a freshman to see her get to this point?
I think that's one of the most rewarding things as a coach, is to see a young lady like Sophia who, the playing time, especially on a varsity level, has never really been there for her. But she showed up every day. She showed up every day. She showed up every day. This summer, she was at everything. She was usually there early. She usually stayed late. And every team needs a girl like Sophia. You don't replace that. That is contagious. And other girls see that. And if a senior's doing that, it's even better for the program. And the fact that she stuck with it from the beginning till now, there are life lessons for that. Sophia's going to be a very successful woman when she gets a little bit older, and we're proud to be a part of that because she's been really meaningful to this program.
Not to mention, she can come off the bench and hit a big 3 just like she did last night. I mean,
she's like the microwave. She's instant heat. She comes out and boom. That was a beauty last night. That got everybody on their feet.
When you talk about this year going forward and you look around at the NE8, you have 4 teams playing right now, 4 teams shut down. It's kind of a crazy, thing in the NE8. What do you expect from the league this year, and what kind of things do you think going forward do you expect from the teams that you're going to be playing?
Super, super competitive league. That hasn't changed. It's been that way. It's going to be that way. I think you look at, the first 2 years of the NE8, it went Poland, South Range, Struthers. And, we're probably the top 3 right now. Gerard's going to have something to say with it. And then you look at Lakeview and Hubbard and Jefferson. They were younger teams last year, and they've got most of their talent back. They're really well coached. They're dedicated coaches that are committed to the process of getting better. So there's not a night on our schedule in our league where we can't show up to play and get lucky and get a win. We're going to have to play every night and show up. And, I think about I call them the big three. You know, Jacki Grisdale at Poland, Emma Elia at Struthers, and Izzy Lamparty with us. And that's no disrespect to any other seniors, but those are the three seniors that have been accoladed in this league. And I think you'd be hard pressed to find a league in the state that has three girls at the top that are as good as those three.
And you played Emma Elia last night. You're gonna play Jacki Grisdale 2 more times this season. When you're looking at a defense, and like what you said before, your defense is a linchpin. What do you do when you're going up against someone that can just change games like that?
Well, I had a terrible thought. I finished our scouting report against Struthers, and I felt good for him. I'm like, man, I only have to do this one more time for Emma Elia. And then it hit me, if Trumbull County doesn't come back, we might schedule Struthers 3, 4, 5 times this year. We might schedule Poland 3, 4, 5 times this year just to get games. So we may see Emma and Jacki a heck of a lot more. But and there's some special players in our league. You look at Naya Fryer from last year. It's heartburn for coaches. And I know we have girls that same way for other coaches in the league, but it's a fun challenge, and that's part of what makes the league so fun and so competitive is that teams have the stars like that really get your blood flowing because you want to play good against them because you're going against the best.
I've already been talking to area coaches just about South Range and about what they think about them, and the one word that they always say about you guys for this year is balance. How there's just someone on the floor all the way they can beat you, whether it be Lexi Giles, Bree Kohler, Gabby Lamparty, Izzy, of course. What's it like having a team that's just so balanced and so dangerous, and someone new can be the superstar every night?
Yeah, I think it makes us tough to defend because if you take one girl away, we have another girl that can step up, and vice versa. And sometimes that comes from deeper because our role players can really step up in situations where they need to. And again, like I said earlier, when we're rolling, the worst thing is basketball is so overcoached. Coaches want to get in there and try to make all these adjustments and changes. And you just kind of got to let the girls play. And I think that's how they learn the best. We'll change up some of what we do. Just, I'll say, hey, what do you girls want to do here? And they'll say, hey, let's do this and that. Yeah, do it. Go for it because it's different. And you're going to have fun doing it. And that just kind of makes it fun to coach because there's a lot of tools in the bag that we can pull out and we can try. And if it doesn't work, we throw it away and we go to the next thing.
And there's another starter I don't want to leave out because I think she's very important for you guys is Mallory Vidman. I think she takes you guys from really good to special when she can do what she can do, especially her defense. What kind of improvements have you seen from Mallory from last year, her first year starting, and now getting another year in the starting lineup?
Well, that year of experience has really helped her confidence. She's a lot more confident player this year. She kind of understands her role, and she's really comfortable and really good at it. You look at Salem, she guarded Kyla for a little bit, who was a lot bigger than her, and then she had to go guard Abby Davidson, and then she had to guard one of the other Davidson girls, and then she had to guard the McClish girl. So that's a girl who's guarding 4 or 5, 3, 4 different skill sets of players in a single game. And then last night she guarded the 6'1" Schaefer girl from Struthers, and she held her to 1 point. And that's a girl that's getting looked at by some colleges. And Mallory said, you're not getting any field goals against me. She hit 1 foul shot, and Mallory is so valuable to us because if we get 4 or 6 points from her, that's a bonus. But what she does is she usually takes one of their post players who score 10, 12, 14 a game, and she usually holds them under 5. And so she may not score a bunch, but she saves us a bunch on the defensive end, and that's probably even more valuable.
And then talk about the bench players and maybe some new players that are stepping in this year that Raider fans should really keep their eye on and write down their names so they know when they pop up, they'll be ready for them.
Well, last year we had Emma Cunningham and Taylor McClish as freshmen really kind of develop about halfway through the season and ended up playing some huge minutes for us the second half, and especially in our tournament run. So those two are still around, and they put in a ton of work, and they've gotten a lot better. And then, our bench, we already talked about Sophia. and Hannah Kraus and Hannah Hakinen have really stepped up, and they're going to contribute off the bench. And that's exciting for us. Kelly Zolik had a great summer. She's ready to step in when we need her. And so that's 10 right there that we feel really confident with. And that's an exciting thing.
And then you have a new assistant coach this year too, in Morgan Zoper. What's it like having someone that she's been through the program? She's really at the age where she can still relate to the girls that are in high school right now. And what's she kind of bring to the bench?
Yeah, the girls love having her around. And, when we can talk about, she was the third or fourth all-time leading scorer, and if they pop up and they go look at the record board and they see all the records that she has, like, okay, this is a girl that can play. We better listen to her. And that's exciting because when they see somebody like that they can learn from, they turn into sponges and they take what she has to offer. And, she brings a great amount of energy, and it's just awesome to have her around. It's great to have an alumni around that leads in burgundy and gold. It just helps with the team culture and what we're trying to do here. So we've been blessed to have Morgan Zoper join us, and she's contributed a lot to the program already.
It can't hurt to also have someone that can lace up and be an extra man for scrimmages and for practices.
Yeah, she'd run laps around us older coaches, so it's nice to have her around.
When you look at this season and the expectations that you have for your team, what kind of goals do you set that you just want to see this team achieve every night?
We really haven't talked about goals. We've tried to stay away from it because, and I talked about this a little bit earlier, we don't want to have where we finish tell us how good we were or how much we enjoyed this or what the sisterhood meant to the team, because there are things that we're going to learn on a nightly basis that we're going to take with us forever that are going to make our lives better and give us an opportunity in situations down the road that we're going to be more prepared for. And we don't want, hey, we didn't get to this goal, to have any kind of influence on that. So, I think in the back of our minds, we know what we want to do. We want to win the league. And we want to see if we can get to state. Right? But when you're in the league that we are, and you look at Poland, who is now 29-0 in the NE8, that's a very realistic possibility that you're not league champs because of that. And, only 4 teams get to go to state. So that takes a really, really special thing. So those are big goals that we're not really thinking about because we know that we play Ursuline on Thursday and we want to win that game.
So maybe not big season goals, but do you guys set goals maybe every night? Like, hey, this game, we have this goal that we set for this particular night or this particular practice?
Well, there's a few. Duke role is we want to make more foul shots than our opponent shoots. We want to get at least, or we want to win the turnover margin. We want to win the transition point margin. We want to win the rebound margin. We want to win the assist margin. We want to take at least 2 charges a game. So, there are things like that we think if we can win the majority of those or do the majority of those things in a game, the end result usually will turn out in our favor.
And I know you're still counting games that you hold opponents less than 40 points, right?
Yeah, we got our first one last night. So we're playing a little bit more up tempo this year, which last year we set the school record for defensive scoring average. And just because of the tempo we play this year, I don't know if we're going to challenge it, but yeah, we got to throw the first one in the 40 club last night, and that was a lot of fun.
Last year, you did a lot of unique kind of team bonding exercises. I'm sure you've done a couple of them already this year. What kind of things do the girls do to kind of stay together when they have to meet all these 6 feet protocols and they have to make sure they're keeping separate physically but together mentally?
Yeah, they're communicating, and I don't know, I'm an old guy. I guess they probably already text and Snapchat and whatever it is a lot, but they're just making sure that they're together. One of the best feelings you can have as a coach, I got the other night, because we've had, I don't know, 5 or 6 different girls in 2.5 week quarantine at different times, and reaching out to the girls just to make sure they're okay. And I got to, send a message, hey, how's it going? You doing all right? She goes, yeah, I've been good. All the girls on the team have been reaching out to me, so that's really helped me through this quarantine. And that's what we do. Right? We love each other. And so the fact that, and that's not coming from the staff, right? That's the players on their own initiative reaching out to their teammates during quarantine just to see if they need anything, make sure they're doing okay. And, we talk about what's going to happen when we leave this place. We've still got to be here for each other down the road, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. The phone's going to ring and somebody's going to need you, right? And it's going to be somebody from this team. Are you going to be there? And when we know on a daily basis that we're there for each other, then 6 feet apart or not, we're as close as we've ever been.
All right, Coach, before we let you go, last week we asked you what your favorite Christmas song was. This week we want to know what your favorite Christmas movie or TV special is.
Christmas Vacation. It'll be on repeat most of the month of December. I'll sneak some Home Alone and some Elf in, and there's some other good ones, but Christmas Vacation is the go-to.
I like it. When it's quick like that, it's number one.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Coach. Good luck the rest of the week. We look forward to talking to you again real soon next week for episode 3.
Can't wait. I appreciate it.